form in Psalm 20 was a prayer that was offered up to God, and David and the children of Israel were preparing to go to war against a larger and more superior Ammonite army. In 2 Samuel chapter 10, we have the story now of the Ammonite, this large, vast army that came ready to attack David and the children of Israel. The psalmist now gives us a glimpse of what happened or what took place prior to the battle. They would get together, they would offer up sacrifices, and they would offer up a prayer to God, soliciting God's help and strength in the time of battle. And the psalmist said, may the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of God of Jacob defend you. May he send you help from the sanctuary. Look at it. And strengthen you out of Zion. Yeah, the psalmist fully understood that we're getting ready to go into battle. And if you look at the battle on paper, the odds are stacked up against us. If you look at their army compared to us, we are the underdog. If you look at this battle and really look at it from a strategic standpoint, we're getting ready to enter into something that on paper does not look good for the home team. Yeah, we're getting ready to walk into something that, if the truth be told, it looks like now on paper there's absolutely no way we're going to win. Yeah, we're getting ready to get into something. We're getting ready to get involved in something that, if you look at it and be honest, it gives the appearance that we are behind the 8 ball. We're getting ready to go into this battle, and by all accounts, if we were to be honest, it looked like things are stacked not in our favor, but in the favor of the enemy. Touch somebody, tell them that sounds like where I am right now. Yeah, I ain't talking to everybody, but a few of y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, on paper, it looks like things are crumbling all around you, and there's no way that you're going to come out of this situation. You're dealing with a dilemma. You're dealing with a hardship. You're dealing with a problem. You're dealing with situations that, if the truth be told, it looks like there is absolutely no way that you're going to come out of it. But what I love about David in leading the children of Israel, he always led them to God. What was it about David that caused him to always lead them to God? Because David had such a relationship with God that when things came against him, he always turned to God, knowing that I'm ruddy, I'm a little fella, I don't have a whole lot of strength, but when I am weak, he is strong, and his strength is always made perfect in my weakness. David could testify, I got a report from the Lord that when a lion came to take a lamb out of the flock, God gave me the ability to defeat the bear, although the bear was bigger than me. David could testify, when a lion came to take a lamb out of the flock, God gave me strength to defeat the lion, although on paper the lion was bigger than me. David could testify, a 9'6" fella by the name of Goliath came to defy the people of God, and I went out against him, although on paper he is taller, he is bigger, and his weapons are bigger than me. But guess what? I got somebody on my team that can give me the strength to fight every battle. And I just came to remind you, although it don't look good for the home team, the odds are really in your favor. I might lose a lot, but one thing I'm not going to lose is my memory. And I'm sure that when David was writing Psalm 20, he was thinking about the time that his father looked over him and selected his brothers. I'm sure that when David was writing Psalm 20, he was thinking about a lion and a bear that came to steal a lamb, and God brought him through. I'm certain that when David wrote Psalm 20, he was thinking about how Saul turned his back on him, but God made a way out of no way. I'm sure that when David was writing Psalm 20, he was thinking about when he was living in the cave like a common criminal, but every day God fed him. Every day God made a way out of no way. I'm sure that when David was writing Psalm 20, he was thinking about how he failed and messed up with Bathsheba, and while everybody cut him off, David said, create in me a clean heart and renewing me a right spirit. And God gave David another chance. I'm certain that when David wrote Psalm 20, he was thinking about how crazy his family was. Absalom, Abner, Tamar, but thanks be unto God, with a crazy family, God brought David through. I'm certain that when David was writing Psalm 20, he was looking at all that his enemy had at his disposal, and David said, you got chariots, you got horses, but I got a memory. I will remember the name of the Lord. Shake your neighbor's hand and tell your neighbor, I got a memory. Yes, I do. And when I think of the goodness, 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 good God Almighty, shake somebody's hand and say, think about it. I said, God, if you don't come through, what am I going to do? And God took me back. He said, remember when you and your wife had no children, and the doctor said you would have no children. Tell me what you got now. I said, I got 2 children. I said, God, what am I going to do? God said, wait a minute. You remember when you was facing foreclosure, but somehow I brought you through. I said, God, what am I going to do? He said, remember when your parents were still alive and you wanted to bless him, but you couldn't do it. But somehow I blessed them through you. God, what are you trying to say? And God said, remember, your memory is going to carry you into your blessing. Shout yes. Shout yeah. Shout yeah. I said, God, what are you trying to say? And God dropped it in my spirit. And I want you to grab a neighbor and repeat to your neighbor what I heard God say to me. And shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, say neighbor, say neighbor. In other words, me and God got history. Yeah, we got history. We go back. Y'all ain't saying nothing. I got history with God. And the last time I checked, his track record was good with me. If I got anybody that know for yourself that his track record is good with you, throw your hands up and shout yeah.